back again. I want to thank you all for tuning in for another presentation of Facts, Reviews, and Opinions by yours truly, the Spectre of Truth. Please click like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and click the bell for notifications. I would greatly appreciate that and would consider it as a form of payment for all of the hard work and effort that goes into making these masterpieces for you. And that's what these are. These are masterpieces. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll actually go in and make sure that I have all the bits and pieces and facts and figures and everything together for you. Make sure it's edited to the highest qualities that I can generate on my equipment. You know, and if the equipment can't do what I needed to do, I go get some more equipment. So I really put in there for you, you know, to try to get you guys some information. And so if you click that like, subscribe, and notify, I would appreciate that and consider it as paid in full. You know what I'm saying? So it's free, obviously. It don't cost you nothing to click the buttons, man. Just take a second of time and do that and support the channel, and we good. Now today, I got another good one for you, man. I got one. As promised, we are still showcasing these monster movies right now. And every time one drops, they just destroy the box office. They take it over. They come stomping through the box offices, man, and crush every movie that's out there playing with it. All right? And this is another one of those. And it's funny because when these rainbow movies come out, you know what I'm talking about, when they get the rainbow movies out there, men stay home. We ain't going to see that. You know, we're not interested. You know what I'm saying? Little 5'2" woman out there swinging all the men around, all the soldiers around by their ears and breaking their guns in half over her knee and throwing people around. Nobody's going to see that. All right? And it's just, all those movies flop almost overnight. But let a Godzilla or a King Kong movie come out and hit the big screen. Oh my God. They come out of the woodwork for it, bro, including me. I'm the first in line. I'm right there. I'm telling you, I'm with the movies, man. I'm with the big titans and the giant robots and the mechs. I'm with that, man, right? So, and obviously so is everybody else, because those movies crush the box office. All right, so that's what we're gonna put on Fro today. We're gonna put a Fro on King Kong and hit him with some facts and reviews and some opinions, right? Kong has got some hardcore fans, man, because he's been out for a long time. A lot of people don't know, man. In fact, Kong has actually hit the screen 21 years before Godzilla. People don't know that. And in fact, he had 2 movies out before Godzilla had his first movie out. Kong was already on his, already had knocked 2 out the box before Kong hit the first one. See what I'm saying? So the Godzilla review was a full-on 1-hour masterpiece documentary, because those people behind that story deserve to have their truths told to the public. So I had to pull out all the stops on that one. I mean, I like really dressed that one up and tried to turn it into something to really properly represent them and represent what they went through. But I'm gonna try to keep this one a little short. I don't know how long it's gonna go, you know, really by the time we start getting into stuff. I'm trying to keep them a little bit shorter, but once you start getting that information, getting into that heavy, it can go anywhere. You know, it's like branches of the tree. You know, we go up and start talking about one thing, then we start talking about something else, and then that leads to something else, And before you know it, you know, we done knocked off another hour. But we gonna see what we can do. I'm gonna try to keep this a little bit shorter. So we'll see. So all that most people know today about King Kong came from the 2017 reboot titled Kong Skull Island, produced by the new big boys on the block for badass movies, which is Legendary Entertainment. They out here killing it, man. It's to the point with these guys that whenever you hear that name or someone says that it was produced by Legendary, people are already like, oh damn, well, I gotta see it now because I know that's gonna be good. Legendary did? Oh yeah, I'm gonna check it out. All right, that's just their reputation at this point. And everybody know they gonna be on it. So they've been out here killing it for a long time, man. A lot of people don't know. Legendary produced the Chris Nolan Batman series. That the trilogy with the first time everybody was like, yeah, now that's Batman, That is that was a legendary presentation. They did those. They also did the Henry Cavill Superman movies, Man of Steel, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Remember that movie back in the day, 300? Yep, that was legendary. All of that came from them. So you take that same genius and apply it to King Kong, and here's what you get.
It's a survey job. Just chopper them in and out. Be a joyride.
You are going to tell me everything I don't know, or I'm going to blow your head off.
This planet doesn't belong to us. Ancient species owned this Earth long before mankind. I spent 30 years trying to prove the truth. Monsters exist.
You don't go into someone's house unless you're picking a fight.
What you're looking at is a monster from some bygone era. It's time to show that man is king.
Yeah, that looked cool, right? See? And it was a good movie. All right, I personally really enjoyed this movie, especially considering the fact that Legendary remodeled Kong up to about 104 feet tall and weighing in at about 158 tons. That movie had its problems, but overall it did show Kong as this massive titan that could hold his own with anything that was out there with him. You know what I'm saying? So, well, sort of, which is kind of some of the problems. But they even got him where he's able to kind of go toe to toe with Godzilla, man. So, but again, sort of, all right. But we'll get into that. But what I really want y'all to understand is that Kong had a very different origin story back in 1933. See, so that was when the first Kong movie was made, but it wasn't like that trailer you just saw. That movie back in 1933 was made using stop motion animation by a master of the technique named Willis O'Brien, who became famous back then because of this stop motion animation work. Now, in stop motion animation, which he called dynamation at the time, but the way that they do it is a little model of the character is made. So you got this little model, right? And they set it up in a little display. Looks like he's on the land. He's got little trees and stuff behind him, whatever. or sometimes it's just a green screen or something behind them. They were even kind of doing stuff like that. They could just cut all the background out and just have a little character running around. But then they would take and pose the character in a certain way. They pose him, got him posed up, whatever, and then they snap a picture of him, right? Then they move the character just a little bit, and then they photograph him again. And then they move him just a little bit, and then photograph him again. And they keep doing it, move him a little bit, photograph, move him a little bit, photograph, move him a little bit, photograph, and keep that going until they got this character running around and jumping and fighting and climbing buildings and whatever they want him to do. So that's how they do it. They were able to do that with monsters and dogs and people and make these little figurines and just move them a little bit. And eventually it was painstaking work. But eventually they had these characters doing all kind of crazy stuff, whatever they wanted them to do. Here's what the process looks like. This is actual footage of O'Brien doing some of the work. And you can see classic footage of the original stop motion animation technique and how he did it. Check it out.
The world of stop motion animation is a creative world indeed, where any object can do anything. The illusion of movement is achieved by posing and repositioning an object while photographing it one frame at a time. When the footage is played back at speed, it appears that the inanimate object has come to life. Stop motion animation is a rare cinematic art form dating back to the late 1800s. It often utilizes articulated puppets with ball and socket metal armatures or clay figures with a wire interior frame, making it possible to incrementally move and position its parts. The head of RKO Pictures, Marion C. Cooper, he was very impressed with O'Brien's work. Little did O'Brien know, Cooper had a project of his own that he was about to unveil, which would highlight O'Brien's talent for all the world to see. The project was King Kong. O'Brien and his effects team developed a way to use rear projections with miniature sets. The projector could display one frame at a time. This allowed the animated creatures to blend in with the live actors. Such is seen when Kong attempts to grab the character Driscoll, who is hiding within a cave. Willis O'Brien's animated dinosaurs roamed about in several scenes, which, after The Lost World, certainly added to the success of King Kong. But it was the performance of Kong himself that O'Brien was able to bring forth the animated figure that truly sold the film. His animation displayed a range of emotions that audiences were moved by. Kong wasn't merely a lumbering giant ape. O'Brien made Kong into an empathetic, fully realized character.
So every scene showing Kong in 1933 in that 1933 movie was done using this process, and it was considered a groundbreaking achievement, which it was. But this is the trailer for the original King Kong movie in 1933. So you can see that process at work in the actual movie. Check out the trailer, 1933, King Kong, the original King Kong movie. Check it out.
We're millionaires, boys. I'll share it with all of you. Why, in a few months it'll be up in lights on Broadway. Kong, the eighth wonder of the world!
Wild, weird, wonderful, the stuff for which movies were made. Adventure, to make you wonder if it's true, while your eyes convince you that it is. Truly, the thrill of thrills. Don't miss it this time.
So, all right, y'all saw that, right? So, but did you all notice something about that clip? I mean, yeah, the animation was amazing, but did you see him grab that woman? You know, what was that about? Like, so that's weird. I always thought that was weird. For those who haven't seen it, that movie, he was basically chasing this woman around through the whole movie. You know, it really kind of just revolved around him going after her. So, but you didn't see that in these new Kong movies, though. They didn't have all that in there. Today, he's fighting monsters and fighting Godzilla and then teaming up with Godzilla. You know, he's doing big monster things now, right? But originally, his movies focused around him chasing this woman, you know, and specifically white women, like you just saw. So I always thought that was weird. Like, why, you know, I never understood it. But it was in there, whatever. It was a good movie, monster movie, you know, whatever. So I just took it for what it was. But hold up. Maybe that was just a crazy side plot that they put in there, right? You know, maybe I didn't, you know, we reading too much into it. Let's take a look at the reboot movie that they did for King Kong in 1976. So we saw that 1933. Now we moving up to the reboot in 1976. Check this out.
1976. The American merchant vessel Petrox Explorer has just set sail from the port of Surabaya in search of oil. What they find will shock the world.
We may be sailing into the history books.
They will catch a stowaway.
And landing on the beach of the Skull, where he heard the roar of the greatest beast.
They will rescue a beautiful castaway.
She's alive!
You know, maybe my luck has changed.
And they will discover an uncharted island that is the home of the most incredible creature on the face of the earth. A creature called Kong. Dino De Laurentiis and Paramount Pictures present the most exciting original motion picture event of all time. King Kong. King Kong, a fantastic adventure.
Open the gate!
King Kong, a colossal achievement. King Kong, a motion picture filled with sights and sounds unlike anything you've ever experienced before. King Kong.
Don't flood the tank! She fell in!
With Jeff Bridges, Charles Grodin, and introducing Jessica Lange as the beauty who charmed the beast. And starring the eighth wonder of the world, King Kong.
Yeah, so you see it now, right? And why is this whole movie about King Kong chasing this white woman? I don't even want to deal with the whole white woman angle and, you know, white this, black that. I really don't want to go into all of that stuff with any of these presentations that I'm doing, but it's in there. There it is, you know, so y'all see it for yourself. But hey, those are old movies, you know. We talking about 1933, we talking about 1976, you know. So maybe the one in 1976 was just copying the first one from 33, right? So let's take a look at the trailer of a newer one that they made in 2005. So in that one, they made him a lot smaller. He's only about 25 feet tall, but he was much more acrobatic and he was a better fighter in this one. He was getting down in this one. So let's see if, you know, they did things a little different in this one. Let's check out King Kong 2005. Check it out.
And lo, the beast looked upon the face of beauty, and beauty stayed his hand, and from that day forward, he was as one dead.
So you're ready for this voyage, Miss Darrow?
Sure.
Nervous?
Nervous? No. Should I be?
Imagine, if you will, an uncharted island, thought to exist only in myth.
Wall! There's a wall ahead!
That's where I'll shoot my picture.
It's deserted.
Of course it's deserted. The place is a ruin.
They've taken Anne! Find her! Behind the wall!
We saw something. What took her, Carl?
If you haven't found her in 24 hours, there'll be nothing left to find.
Hey, hold up, man. Why are all these movies about a gorilla chasing a white woman around for 2 hours, man? This is crazy, right? I mean, does anybody else see anything wrong with this? Is it just me? You know, something wrong, man. What is this about? Why are we looking at these new King Kong movies and they just got them running around fighting Godzilla and stuff? But King Kong's origin was all about chasing this white woman around through the whole movie until they killed him. You know, this is crazy, man. So is there some symbology in here somewhere? Are they trying to tell us something with this? You know, now I know a lot of you all will be like, oh man, here we go again. Black folk always think everything is racist. They always getting offended over nothing. You know, but hold up. I'm talking crazy stuff, right? I'm reading into it. I'm off base with this, right? Okay. So you saw him chasing the woman around, right? Saw him grabbing her up and all of this kind of thing. But what did he do when he caught these women? Well, let's take a look at it, shall we? Here's what happened when he caught the woman in the 1933 movie. Check this out. Okay, wait a minute now. Now hold up. Oh, wait. Maybe that's a fluke. That's old at 1933. Let's see what he did when he caught the woman again in 1976. They did the remake, they upgraded them and everything. 1976. Let's see what he did with her in that one. Hey, wait a minute. We're not even gonna stop. We ain't even gonna talk about it. Let's just jump to the 2005 and let's see what he did with this white woman when he caught her in the 2005 clip.
I said no! That's all there is. There isn't any more.
Y'all see it now, don't you? You see it. What would make a giant gorilla want to undress a tiny little woman? She about yay big. That's crazy, bro. What would be the point of making something like this? And why keep remaking it over and over and over again through the years from 1933 all the way up into 2005? We see him chasing these white women around, grab her up, taking her clothes off. Come on, man. What is that about? That's just crazy to me. How is this the origin? Bro, how is this the origin of one of the most famous Hollywood sci-fi monsters of all time? I mean, damn, there's just way too much code, subliminal messages, and symbology in these Kong movies to be a coincidence. So we got to do a deep dive on this one, ladies and gentlemen, because when you really look at it, it's clear that something is very wrong with the origin story of King Kong. Anybody can see that there's something else going on here, but what else could it be? What could it be, man? We got to figure this thing out, man, because this just don't make any sense, man. Like what could this really be about? Like, what are they doing with this, man? What are they really trying to say? What are they really?
So, I mean, do you think of film as a form of social programming, or?
It's always been.
Okay.
Always been.
All right. So let's go back then. You talked about how when you were growing up watching.
Well, let me ask you something.
Sure.
Did you see the movie King Kong?
Mm-hmm.
That's about Jack Johnson and the white women. What's a gorilla doing in New York? Ain't no trees, and Lord knows ain't no bananas. What's there? The boxing capital of the world, Madison Square Garden. So sometimes you look at it and you don't see the code. See through the code.
Thank you for watching part 1 of King Kong, The Hidden Origins. Part 2 goes even deeper and will be uploaded tomorrow at 8 p.m. Don't miss it. Also, don't forget to click like and subscribe because we are just getting started and you don't want to miss what's coming. Peace.